So this is a screen replacement tutorial on an HP Pavilion dv7. So the first thing you want to do is down on the left and right side, there's two screws covered by little tabs. You want to remove the tabs and then remove the two screws. Then you can start peeling the frame of the screen off. It's easier to do this with a flathead screwdriver to get it started, since it is on there kind of tight. And then down at the bottom, there's a few little tabs there. You just gotta pick them up and then pull it off. And then what you want to do is there's 4 screws on the corners of the screen holding it to the back of the case. So you want to remove those. And then once those 4 are removed, the screen itself is mostly free. Sorry, I dropped a screw right there. And then, as you can see, it's pretty free. But if you remove, then there's 4 more screws down at the bottom, actually holding the bottom of the case to the hinges. So as soon as those are removed, you can, then it will be completely free. As you can see there. Then you can go ahead and start, I'll give you a little more room to work with anyways. So then you can go ahead and remove the screws from the sides. There's 3 screws all going up the sides of each of the screens. On each of the screen. Well, there's 2. Sorry, 2 screws, my bad. And then once that's done, you can, there's some tape holding the ribbon cable holding the cable to the screen. So it might be easier to kind of pull it or pick it up with a screwdriver, flathead screwdriver. And then you have to kind of peel the cable off because they did use some adhesive or tape to hold it down. And then you can do whatever you want with the garbage screen, since it is junk then. And then you just have to remove the plastic from the screen that you got. And then, once that's finished, you can go ahead and plug the cable in. And you want to make sure you line all the connections up right, make sure it's tight. Then you can put the tape down and then stick the cable back to it. And then at this point is when I would usually try to at least pull the tape back on the screen protector that came with the screen, so that way you don't completely scratch the screen up, which I'm just going to go ahead and set that off to the side because it was getting in the way. Now on this, you actually want to start with the top of the top screws first, because on the bottom side there's actually on this particular model the screws sit free, so it's kind of somewhat adjustable there. So if you do then actually I tried to set something there, but the back cover can just kind of sit there. It won't hurt it. Now this is where I realized that the screws sit free at the bottom, so you want to do the top one first, the top 2 first, and then you can go ahead and put the bottom ones in where it sits. So then once that's tight, you can go ahead and put the back cover back up to where it was sitting. Make sure you hold it so it doesn't fall back down. And then you can go ahead and put a screw in there to hold that. So now you basically just do everything but in reverse. So it makes it pretty easy. So once you get the 4 screws in, you can start on those 2 hinge ones. Just put them back exactly where you had them. And then make sure you don't put one in the hole where those 2 first screws that we took were at, because otherwise you'll have to take the cover back off. Then once you get those screws in, you can go ahead and snap the cover back on. Now it does like to kind of float around there, so it's easier if you can get those 2 screws in on the bottom first, because that will help kind of place the cover where it needs to be, or where it should be. Then you can go ahead and start pushing it down. And you want to kind of push from both sides and try to stay away from the inside of it as much as you can, so that way you don't damage the screen itself. And if you look at it to the side too, it can help you see where it might not be popped in all the way. And then once you get that in, you can put those 2 little rubber pieces back on. Just make sure that they are facing the right directions, because it does matter. And then if you need help, you can kind of use a screwdriver to kind of place it into place, because it doesn't like it sometimes. And then you can turn the power button on and the computer will be working.